that like that.
Yeah. All right.
All right, I think we're live with it now. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. What's going on, Split the Difference family?
Oh my God. Oh my God. What a day. What a day.
Oh man, it's another podcast Sunday with Split the Difference,
Yes,
where
yes.
I am Rich Rocky,
And I am Pops.
and we have another hot topic today, man. We just want to figure out um why it's so hard to get stuff done in the workplace today. But that ain't the topic. That's just a little hint. Pops, before we get into the actual topic, man, just tell them where they can follow us and just see some of our material that we've already done and also our future work.
You can catch us on all media platforms, YouTube, Spotify,
Mhm.
Instagram at Split the Difference 67. That's Split the Difference 67 on all those social media platforms. That's it, Cole.
There it is, man. Split the Difference 67 on all platforms, man. And each and every like, subscription, comment, it is very important for what we're trying to do, man. And we're just trying to entertain the world with our thoughts from the older generation and the newer generation, man. So please, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. We need that. And we ain't gonna hold y'all long today, man. We got a good topic, so we want to use all the time that we do have. To be into the topic. So, Pops, we're gonna let you spearhead this one because I think last week I had that topic. So I want you to go ahead and take this one this week.
Yo, twin, I think we got a good one for you today.
All right. All right.
This what's up, twin. We're gonna today we're gonna talk about work ethics.
Oh wow.
The
Okay.
generational difference between the younger generations,
Right.
I would say, versus my generation.
Okay.
And I guess I'll start it off. You know,
That sounds good.
you guys got a total different approach mentally and physically on work.
Right.
You know, and it was up to me. I would say physically you don't want to do it, and mentally you don't want to do it. But in our day,
Okay.
the majority, not everybody. So this, and remember, y'all, this is just our truth for entertainment purposes only, and we speak from what we know to our truth. It ain't the truth; it's our truth. And I'll start off
An
like,
opinion then.
yeah,
Your opinion.
my opinion. Where's my truth? Because I'm telling you the truth from what I experienced.
Right.
It's my truth.
But it's still an opinion to those that they might say that's not the truth, but it's your truth because it's your opinion.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll get into it. Go ahead with your.
Damn, he won't even let me get off with my story.
Well, I just don't want the people looking at us crazy, you know.
No,
when they
it's
go
my
to
truth.
watch.
I don't care what they said. It is my truth.
Okay, no.
What I'm telling you is what I've seen, and it's the truth.
All right, well, let's go. You said we don't work, and so
Okay. Well, I'm not all of y'all.
how you want to go forward with it?
Let's just start off by saying, let me tell you what it looked like when I was growing up.
Okay.
As I remember, and I played a part in this. When we were growing up, we were taught from early age that you had to work.
Right.
Simple as that. You had to work. If you don't work, you don't eat. Majority of us growing up had a deadline on when we was gonna have to move. It was a deadline. I know my mama told me all the time, you know, 18, you need to be gone, and 20, you definitely gonna be on. And she meant it. And you know, I tried to play it past, and when I got home one day, everything was already packed. I thought she was cleaning my room, put me out. But we're talking about work ethics.
Mhm.
It was known that in our time that you would get you a job.
Right.
And back then, jobs had benefits. You know, you had retirement, you had
Mhm.
pensions,
Yep.
all that good stuff.
Mhm.
So we would go and work and try to find what they so called back then a good job.
Right.
And what was a good job? I'm glad you asked me. Any job that gave you a check on Friday was a good job.
Okay.
You know, we didn't really pick when we heard it was an opening. If we wasn't working, we didn't stay at home and say, "Well, I don't want to do that." If we wasn't working, we was getting to that job.
Okay.
You know, and I say that because your society, your generation, not society, your generation, that definitely ain't they thought. You know, your generation, they got something that they gonna do, and if they can't do what they want to do, they just not gonna do it. We were not like that. Your generation was is job hoppers. We were not job hoppers.
Mhm.
You know, so what would you say about your generation? What do you guys think about job versus, like I said, we went in for the longevity. We didn't jump hop jobs all over. You know, most of our people, here we go. Most of our people will put their time in 10 to 15 years on the job.
You done?
Y'all can't even get 2 weeks in. All right, go ahead, big brother.
Well, twin, you basically just really made the point as to why this generation's work ethic is like that. Let me rebuttal you before I give you what we're like. You said your generation had benefits. They gave a decent dollar. They allowed you to do things that when you went to work, you could see benefits when you got a check. These days, there are no jobs with great benefits. Benefits, actually, if you see what's going on, are getting stripped from jobs. That's another reason, to your point, people are job hopping. And it might seem, to your other point, that we don't want to work. We're just not going to do that foolishness for that dime. And I believe if jobs did have the benefits and did have could, you know, pay the dollar that is worth someone's time. Now, like going to work for $15, a whole 8 hours, and still thinking that you can have a decent life after you leave that job. Come on now, it's kind of hard in today's times. If you look at how much rent is, how much grocery is, asking someone to come into your job 6 days a week for $12 to $15, those days are over with. So of course, the people would rather sit at home and try to, well, my generation at least, with as much as we're, you know, being able to access, we would rather just sit at home. I'm not saying sit at home and be lazy, but some of us would rather just sit at home and game plan something, try to day by day put together a strategy with those 8 hours rather than go waste a couple 8 hours in a job that's not going to give me no benefits. They're not going to care about me if something happened. And that's just what it is. We feel like now in my generation that it's better for us to try to create something for ourselves than to go waste time for someone who doesn't care about us, a job that doesn't care about us, and to just live by what they say 6 days out the week.
Okay. You know, and I kind of get what you're saying, and there are some truths in what you just said.
And with that being said, though, you have to be the type of person with that type of drive who can say, okay, I might be down or not where I want to be for a couple months, weeks, months, or years of my life, but I know that the plan I'm putting together is better than going into an office 8-hour day or whatever the case may be.
There's some truth to that, and you know, and I'm not going to fight you on that. But here's my thing in that, and you know, you're right. There's some truth. There's some things, man, that people are not getting paid. I agree, they're not getting paid fair, and that system has gotten so messed up. And part of it is because of the way society is going now, and in the country that we live in is kind of greedy.
Right.
But you said, you know, we rather not do that, go in and do that. We'd rather try to stay out instead of going there working 8 hours. We'd rather stay out and try to figure out,
find a couple hustles and figure something out.
What happens? How are you eating and providing for yourself? Let me finish my question.
No, I'm not. I ain't gonna cut you off.
In this, trying to figure it out. See, it was almost while you trying to figure this out, and I get it, but it was almost a sin when I was coming up to not have a plan. What the younger generation, and I love how you guys take initiative and try to do things, but I think y'all forget sometimes that you're doing it on somebody else's dime. Not all of you, because while you trying to figure it out, somebody still got to feed you. They got, you know what I'm saying? It's so freaking hot now. You got to have AC. Somebody's still paying that. So in my day, while we was figuring it out, we still had to work it out. There was no such thing as not come home in the 8 hours while you was on the job. You was figuring it out. It was no downtime.
Right. And I believe we are. And we're in a work smarter, not harder era.
I get that, and I appreciate. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So what may seem like someone's not working is actually a easier way to them to make the money than them going out. I guess that's what I meant to say earlier. They rather try to work smarter because we have so much. If you really have the drive and you want to learn and do your own thing, you can do that. And I think that people are starting to see that, and that's the way they're going. They were like, wait a minute, if I can still make a living, like you said, you have to try to work it out. What did you say? Work it out.
Work it out while you trying to
Figure it
figure
out.
it out.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people they try to work it out. They try to figure it out and then work it out, and they don't have the mix between both. But that was my whole point is, and I can't really put it together. We're in a work smarter, not harder era, which means you're not going to see the people putting in long hours because wow, we have things to do that. For example, I knew you had me and my brother in a t-shirt company
That's right.
at the age of like 4 or 5 working. But now, if you had that same company, not saying that me and my brother still wouldn't be workers, but it's different ways you can do that without me and my brother just hard laboring that, those shirts. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
they've come up with machinery,
Right,
but somebody still got to man the machines.
right. But that's still less work.
See,
It's work, but it's still less work than
what I see with the some of, not everybody, I'm not talking about everybody in your generation, is that a lot of them are trying to be picky, but as the old folks would say, don't have a pot to piss in.
Mm.
You ain't paying no rent. You ain't paying no light, but you trying to dictate where you going to work. I have no problem with you dictating where you're going to work as long as you got a job working until you find a job that's going to put you in that. Everybody walk around, it's entrepreneurs, the TikTok sensations. Well, I would be, if I was a TikTok sensation, I would be nervous. TikTok is just one phone call away from Trump shutting it down.
right.
Your world changes tomorrow. So if you're making $3,000 and $4,000 a week or every 2 days off TikTok, if that man shut it down, what does that leave you? Because you have built you don't want to work.
And that's what I do hate about my generation. There's a lack of hard labor. Like you said, if something goes down on TikTok, where are the plumbers from my generation, the construction workers, just the little things like that? I'm not talking about
exactly
anything like that.
Where are the plumbers? You said it.
Where the
where
electricians,
the
welders.
Where are they at?
We need these type things. And I'm not saying you can't be an entrepreneur, but just open your eyes into what the world's gonna really need instead of just going through the easy way out. Like I said,
you said something there with the plumbers, the electricians, our people who was supposedly minority, people of color, have come over, have let all other nationalities come over to this place and make Hispanics are making more money than some Americans being plumbers.
Yeah.
When you see the buildings being built,
yeah,
and this is not racial, I'm just saying what I see. Hispanics, and they're making good money.
right.
But we at home, I'm gonna be an influencer. They making all the money, living in better houses, driving better cars because they went to work. We want the hula and hooray, but we don't want to put the time in.
Yeah.
There's no easy way out, folks. Even with the content creators, you know how much time they put in to get to where they are?
Right. That
It ain't easy.
And that's what I was gonna say, because somebody asked me to sit on this panel. They know we have our business and they know I do what I do on the side. So they know I kind of do the best of both worlds. And so the whole panel was based around which one's harder, being a streamer, a YouTuber, or a 9 to 5. I said, well, both of them hard. It just depends on which lens you look through it at.
Okay.
Because the streamer, he just don't go film something and put it out. This man got to know the times that people is watching his stuff. He got to edit this stuff. He got to know what content they want to see, what words exactly to say to get the algorithm going. So nothing, like you just said, nothing's going to be easy.
Right. Well, and
Which hard do you want a hard life, which is hard paying your bills? Like you said, you're still going to have to maintain a life. So do you want hard paying your bills, or do you just want to work hard? You want to live hard or work hard? I'd rather work hard.
but I've worked all my life, but I need somebody to clarify the term to me. What is working hard? You go to work, you do your job, you come home. Is that hard? What is actually working hard? Because if you're working hard, it's like lifting weights. You can only lift heavy weight for so long and you got to stop.
Right.
People are saying they're working hard. Are you working hard just because you have to go to work? That's not hard working.
Right. No, that's
You're
good.
just going to work. Take the hard off of it.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
tired of working. No, I'm not. I'm tired of working hard. You don't work hard every day.
Right.
You might get a little stressed, but it's not hard.
Mm.
If you're going to work and it's still hard, that means you're a dummy. You hadn't learned your job.
Yeah. If you know, hey,
It's
like,
hard when you don't know how to do it.
like a teacher told me, this test shouldn't take all day. It's either you know it or you don't. It ain't hard. It's either you know it or you don't.
No, you don't. But everybody wants to be
The
Twin.
guy.
the guy,
The-
and everybody wants to, in your generation, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and I don't understand it. Well, I do understand it because it looks good, and people like to have control of their time.
Right.
We're entrepreneurs. We run a company, but this is what I say. I run a company, but I'm still not in charge. We're not in charge because every day we have to what? Go deal
With the
with,
people.
with the man.
And if they call,
You
and
gotta
say
go.
they got a problem, what we gonna say? No. Because that's not how it works. They're gonna call the next man.
It's a job on another level.
And that's why I don't think a lot of people who keep saying, "Oh, I want to transition into being an entrepreneur," you understand, because this is my thing. Like you just said, you're always gonna be up under somebody. It might
Somebody's
be
gonna be in
one or two people on planet Earth that ain't up
Everybody
under
except
somebody.
Donald Trump.
You're
do what they
always
wanna
gonna have to answer to somebody. So the people that saying, "I don't want to do this because it ain't really what I want to do. I don't like doing it." When you get your own job and you start dealing with clients, whatever it may be, whether you're training athletes, whether you're just a normal coach, whether you're an artist, whether you're an instrument instructor, there's going to be times where you're going to have to bend
That's right.
your not expectation. You're just going to have to bend what you normally do. Simple as that.
That's right.
You're going to have to bend what you normally do
That's right. Well, let me ask you
in order
this.
to be successful.
For your generation, and since we're right here talking about entrepreneurship, I've done several different things. And your brother, he's into music.
Hmm.
And I remember talking to him, and he would say, well, I'm giving myself a time limit that certain things I need to happen.
Right.
I'm like, Zay, that's a good thing. Matter of fact, shout out to Xavier Gordon. He just came out with a single today, On the Money. Catch him on iTunes, Spotify. Go look him up. It's some good jazz music, On the Money. But anyway, he gave himself a time limit. Here's what I wanted to say if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, not entrepreneurship. You got to know your craft.
Hmm.
And just because you can do something, do you really have the rest of it to go with it?
Right.
My producer was saying today, you got to be able to go outside. Some people say I'm doing my business, but if you say you're trying to do a business and you don't like to deal with people, you've already failed.
Yeah, business and not people, like that don't even go together. I don't know one business that thrives off of just the CEO. You need clients, employees, connections. So if you don't deal with people, that's automatically a no.
And let me see that live chat. Look like we had two up there. If and this question was asked to me today, I think it's on YouTube. How long, Stan? I get this question all the time, saying, how long should you work on being an entrepreneur before you say, you know what, I need to shift? what would be your thought on that? Because a lot of people spend a lifetime
Being an
trying to chase
entrepreneur.
something, and I said that because I say sometimes, you know, it's like a parent trying to make their kid be a baseball player.
And he don't want to play.
Well, he wanted to play, but he's a better football player.
Mm.
But they don't let him play football because he want to play baseball. So he think he should be doing baseball,
Yeah.
but his gift is really football.
Well, I two different, kind of two different things just because
That
of
was
sports.
asking me.
But I can give you the first part. You said how long, like
Yeah.
you just said about my brother, he set goals. So I feel like that's the biggest thing. You got to set goals in order to see if there's even progress in what you're doing. If you don't see progress,
Okay.
then I'm not gonna say you're not an entrepreneur, but maybe there's that lane ain't the lane you need to be in. I feel like as long as you're seeing progress towards your ultimate goal, that's why goals are so important. As long as you're seeing progress towards ultimate goal, then you can be an entrepreneur. Because I say it like that because your goal, you might just say, hey, my rent is $1,200 a month. I just want this business to be able to pay my rent.
Right.
So set yourself goals to where maybe in a year you can see, okay, have I did enough to where this can actually pay my rent for the rest of my life, or it's not going to do that. That's why it starts with setting yourself goals.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you a question that's been asking me.
All right.
And my cousin Short Dollars deal with this type of stuff too on his podcast. Set your goal. You set your goal, and you got your goal set for a year, but you didn't really hit it. What do you say as a from your generation? I gave it 100% for a year. What do I do at this point? Do I continue for another year or
Let's see where I failed at. Let's see where I failed at. Let's break it down. Don't just quit, because as we know, L's are a part of life, and they could be your lessons, or you can quit, like you're saying, and take a loss. But because I'm sure you don't put money into this thing, so let's see where you failed at. And if you feel like those are areas that you can make it up, set you another 6-month goal. And I'm not saying the goal has to be a year. Set you some short goals, some quarterly goals.
and I agree with you. And what I'm trying to get at and I'm talking about your generation. So in this, you got do you work in Wales or you just continue to fight?
No, you definitely have to have something to live off of.
That's
You
all I'm
definitely
saying.
have to have something to live off of.
When I was coming up,
You need
everybody had to have you had to get to a point where you can take care of yourself. They didn't care if you was an entrepreneur. What you had to get to the point where you can take care of yourself.
you need a fluent cash flow. You need a fluent cash flow. $500 every 2 weeks, $1,000 a month. You need something that you know, okay, if I don't get a gig, if I don't get a photo shoot, an acting gig, or whatever, if I don't get to train anybody this month, I got this $1,000 to pay my phone bill, to pay my car note, to get to the next client, to make some more money, or something. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You need some type of consistent cash flow.
Right. You know, and every business that I know, and I'm talking to the small businesses because I see how the big business run. They got goals. When they'll meet them, they shut it down.
It's shut down.
You know, I had a transportation thing. I was spending more out
Right.
than I was bringing in.
Mm.
I mean, I spent the thing. The thing was $100,000. The SUV insurance.
Yeah.
Well, that was the SUV itself.
Oh,
You know, the
right.
Sprinter itself. But then when you start talking about insurance,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? I cannot be putting out $3,000 a month. And I did it for what, about a year and a half to 2 years?
Probably
I had to
so.
make a decision, you know. Not that I'm not good at it or couldn't be good at it. I just could not invest any more time in that. I have to take care of stuff.
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And that's money instead of
And-
throwing
and-
away. You could.
But that's what I'm saying is the young generation, they want to dream on somebody else's dime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because me and somebody else just had this conversation earlier. They want to dream on somebody else's dime. You can't do that. You
So-
know, and I think if it's your parents and they saying okay, but still you got to say, you know what?
Long as you don't take advantage.
Well, I don't think a lot of them
I
take
wouldn't even.
advantage, but I'm just saying your dream as long as you want to dream. But everybody when you need a constant flow of cash.
So I don't want them to sit too long without us answering them. Cause one of the producers read whoever's in the I can't see the name, but we appreciate you in the comment section. We want to get to you. I hope you're still on there.
Okay.
Okay.
Amazed. All right, sir. But let me speak to that. You know, you're absolutely correct. I get that. But you can have mental peace, but if you ain't got nowhere to live, ain't no peace. All I'm saying is my first priority, and when I was coming up, is to make sure. And I did this, and y'all seen because I didn't always have my own business when y'all first born. Yeah, I was working at another company.
Right.
Started one, left, went back.
Mm-hmm.
You have got to have cash flow somewhere coming in. You just got to have it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't dream, don't get your mental peace. But one thing I can tell you, ain't no damn peace when you're hungry and can't get you nothing to eat.
No, I
There's no peace in not being able to go out sometime.
Yeah.
There's nothing sounding mental to that to me.
Mm.
I in my area, we like to have stuff for our own. When I was growing up, and Joe, you know what I'm talking about, we had to, and we was proud of that. That's what made us proud to be able to say, this is mine. You know, I got it. I bought it. I worked for it. There's no hard job. It's just how you look at it.
Mm. No.
And I'm saying, what I would say to young, we're talking about work ethic, but people, if you want to have more, why don't you go get your job, save a little more money where you can really invest in your marketing? Because if you ain't working, you ain't got no money to market.
Right.
You need it. There's a
That's why
difference
you
in
gotta-
have and have-nots.
If
Money is it.
a lot of things I know about entrepreneurs is they said they use this to fund this.
Exactly.
You know, and then that's how they really start making money, because when this funded this, they could use this to fund that, and then
Yep.
that to fund that. So it
Well, you've been
started
around me
with
too long. He's
it,
been
sta-
around me too
it
long.
started with a
It'll keep going.
consistent. It started with a consistent flow of something, man. I can just remember, even my dad said, even if you just have to save $5 a week, save something. You know, you start somewhere. So even if it's not the job you want, you got to start somewhere.
Right.
You have to start somewhere.
But I kind of agree. I feel sorry for the young generation. I know we want to run way over time, and I'm gonna say this and get out here. I feel sorry for the young generation because society has made it where it doesn't almost, it don't really matter what you do. One job ain't cutting it now.
Yeah, that's true.
A rent is so freaking high for apartments. United States, y'all ought to stop screwing yourself like this. You're messing up people.
And I think that's why you seeing more of the YouTubers and TikTok. Because hell, me
You
going
just cuss?
no,
Oh my God.
me going right up there to the Chick-fil-A, or even one of a good warehouse job. It's not gonna take care if I got a girl, a child, my own apartment. But if I get on this stream and go viral one time,
Yep.
one time, that's all I need is one time. One time is better than 5 days, 8 hours.
Right.
Or 5 days, 12. They even went to longer hours. Y'all only had to work 8 hours and got good benefit. These folks working 12 hours and don't get no dental insurance, don't get insurance, don't get nothing.
Well,
just tired and beat up.
You can't to get a job now. I said, you got to have an agent. You know, I was just dealing with what I call my little daughter was talking about her, and she done put in all these applications online, and it ain't working. And she got a master's. You got to have an agent to get a job these days. What is the agent? The agent is what they call now the
somebody you know.
Well, no, what's those places you go and they send you to the tip agent.
Temp agency.
You can't even, Joe, when we was coming up, you walked into the plant, you filled out the application, you did everything. They won't even let you into the plant now. You got to have an agent. It's almost like the record company. You got to have an agent just to get an interview.
Wow.
And they want to know what's going on with society. I'm talking about now. I'm with some of the young folks on this work because the United States is going crazy. The prices of apartment is too high. You know, if they want you rent a 1 bedroom decent,
3 times
it's
your
$1,800 a month. Then they want you to make 3 times that before they what? You telling me I got to make almost $6,000 a month just to move in?
yeah.
This is crazy. What job? Even if you made $20 an hour, you're not getting $6,000 or $7,000 a month after they do taxes.
Hey, so that's why I say we in a work harder, not smarter era. And although it's taking a lot longer, people are thinking that it's worth it.
That work hard and work smart is for my people. Your people ain't working hard or smart. They say I heard, you know what they said, if they gave the young generation a job laying down and paid them $20 an hour not to get up, they'll fuck that up. They ain't gonna work. They not gonna even get that right. They'll get up. You paid them $20 an hour because they just want to do what they want to do. They'll screw that up. They just not gonna do no work. If you gave them a job, do that, they wouldn't do that job.
And man,
You can't hire them. You know, you hire them, they want to talk. Well, that's another thing. They want to talk on the phone all while they're at work.
yeah.
You can't hire no young people.
Well, even before they get in the office, you can't hire them.
Man, I went down
before
here.
they even get a chance to get in the office, you can't
Well,
hire.
that's why they got the agents. That's why they got the agents. They let them. Well, no, they got the agents because they took a lot of benefits from the workers, and that's why ain't nobody going to work. Jobs that they
At
not.
the end
like
of the day, that's what it boils down to. People see more benefit in trying to create something for
And I'm
themselves
with them on that.
rather than
I'm for entrepreneurship, but I'm just saying it has to be done the right way. Hey, man, we went way low. I got to cut this thing off. Hey, we thank y'all. Go ahead, close us out like you do, brother.
hey man, you know what it is, man. It's another hot topic
Yes,
with
sir,
split the
twin.
difference. Work ethic, man. Y'all tap in with us throughout the week, man. Y'all know y'all will be seeing us post some of this stuff, man. Keep coming,
Thank y'all for
like
joining.
and
Yes.
subscribing to our page on YouTube. And we
Thank you.
appreciate you. Split the difference.
See you next Sunday.